Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First, I'd like to thank you very much for this kind invitation. Especially, it's in a place that they serve good breakfast, so this is why I think we have a good turnout. Because, to be frank, this is my first public appearance. The problem is exactly as described by Anis, is how to manage expectations. This is a very long-term project, and so I thought that maybe I would be a little bit cautious on my press and TV interviews. But I think this is like, a good stage to start talking a little bit and managing expectations and tell you what we are doing. Usually at the university, Anis said my academic background is that we give credit at the end. But just to tell you that I'm really just starting. I mean, the decree was on the 26th of November and announced on the 28th. So this is my 23rd day on the job. So those slides actually are not my slides. There are 7 or 8 boring slides that are mine, and the rest actually, the credit goes to Dar al-Handasa. All the maps and so on are Dar al-Handasa. To tell you how we are still in our infancy, we don't even have a logo yet. In fact, I shouldn't be starting by asking for help, but actually Osama Kamal, Mercury, thankfully decided to volunteer to work with us on the name and on the logo and on the branding, because it's something that we don't even have. This history actually tells you, just to give you an idea, the whole idea of having a specialized or a zone that has special rules to run it started in 1998. They started with a very big piece of land near Sokhna, divided into 4 parts, and gave it to 4 big investors in Egypt, thinking that it will work. 2002, they issued the specialized law, and in 2003 was the first trial with an authority called the Specialized Industrial Zone, SE Zone. It faced actually lots of problems because they invited people from the government to run it. So they got the same commercial registry people and the customs people and so on. So in 2015, they decided to say, okay, let's try again. They modified the law, they learned something through the process, and they issued the second trial, which is what we are right now. It's called the Suez Canal Economic Zone. And this is part of what we are looking into the name. That's why I don't have a name on the slide. Should we keep the SE zone, where S stands for Suez Canal and E stands for economic and Z for zone, instead special economic, we can go. Or it's a bad brand that was 20 square kilometers instead of 461, so it's quite a difference. And the image might not be right image because people had some expectations at SE zone. The new name is Suez Canal Economic Zone. Should we use SC Zone, SE Zone? So this is, something that if you would like to share in the brainstorming sessions on how to brand that, we will highly appreciate. What's the objective we're trying to do out of that, actually? We are trying to say we want to set a conducive environment for people to come and work and invest and so on. In fact, what we're trying to do, actually, is to prove that the Egyptian laws work. It's about the bureaucracy and the interpretation of the law that is actually impeding us, because the essence of what we are working on is that we are working under the Egyptian law, but we don't belong to the cabinet. So I don't need to go back to the cabinet to get any of my decisions, and I'm going to talk about that. So we have full control on our decisions. This is basically it. So the legal framework is very flexible, and the decision is in a single place. So for example, Article 7 of our law says that all the laws that govern general authorities, they don't apply on us. But the most powerful one is actually Article 13. It says that all the authority vested into ministers, governors, and chairmen of authorities is actually delegated to the board of directors of the authority. What does that mean? It basically or simply means that if you come to me with a project, I don't need to send the environmental study to the Ministry of Environment. I could actually pass it to my own advisor or consultant to look at it, and I say, approved. I always make the following joke, because I know that this is I say, if you want actually to set up a school, I can give you a license to set up a school without going back to the Minister of Education. So this is how flexible we are.